So yes, so if you are going into the soap, as probably all of you know, the match Monday is 11th March, and then for the next 3 or 4 days there'll be soap. Soap has been traditionally very difficult for IMGs, but as we have spoken about soap in other videos, it is becoming increasingly a more realistic shot, especially in certain select specialties like IM.
Welcome to USMLE Sarti. We are committed to empowering IMGs. We're excited to guide you on your match journey. Don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications so you can get notified whenever we add new content. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter for the latest tips and tricks regarding everything USMLE. Now, let's dive into it. Hello, everyone. This is Shayla at USMLE Sarti. We are so excited to guide you. With me today is our chief mentor, Pawan Kira. Hi, Pawan.
Hi, Shayla, and thank you again for doing this. Today we are going to talk about what we should be doing in March, right?
Perfect. Yep. So we're continuing our video series. So we did a January series in February. Now we're in March. Just talking about what we should be doing each month. So make sure to check out that series as well. We'll put a link in the description to the previous video. In February, we talked about getting your visa situated, figuring out ECFMG certification, all those types of things. Start thinking about your rotations and research. So we're going to talk more about some of those things today too. Okay, great. So first, before we kind of get into the 2025 match, we do have 2024 match that is going on. Match week is just a couple weeks away. And so first we have soap. Some of you might be appearing for soap. So any tips you have for them for that?
So yes, so if you are going into the soap, as probably all of you know, the match Monday is 11th March, and then for the next 3 or 4 days there'll be soap. Soap has been traditionally very difficult for IMGs, but as we have spoken about soap in other videos, it is becoming increasingly a more realistic shot, especially in certain select specialties like IM. So make sure you are ready. Don't give up yet, even if you have no interviews. So try your best in soap. And of course, our team can help you if you are preparing for soap at the last minute. But soap is the week of March 11. So keep that week in mind.
Great. And then we did do, as Pawan mentioned, we've done a webinar on soap and we did a data video talking about the specialties that commonly appear. So check those out too.
Yep.
Okay, so one of the biggest topics that seems to be going on, a big question I get is which specialty should I apply for? Which specialty does my profile match in? So what types of things should IMGs consider when they're choosing a specialty?
So the biggest thing and the biggest change, I guess, from most of the home country systems is here, your interest is paramount. Unlike, say, in the home country, there's a score, and based on the score, you automatically are offered a position in a specialty. Here, they do look at your interest and what your experiences have been. So keep in mind that choice of a specialty is not just dependent on scores, although of course, scores are important, and some specialties, if you're talking IMG friendly specialties, internal medicine, for example, neurology, increasingly look for high scores. So scores is one part, but more importantly, what has been your experience? And by experience, I mean, if you've worked in the home country or USCE, so relevant USCE, that becomes very important when you're choosing your specialty. So your interest, your scores, your relevant USCE, competitiveness of the specialty, your work experience, and then of course, if you have done research in your specialty of interest, that also helps. So these are some of the things that you should consider uh, as you narrow down on your specialty. Now, there are cases, for example, you may have done a home country residency in dermatology or orthopedics. These are very, very competitive specialties in the US, very tough to get in. So if you are considering a switch, then you have to look at, like I said, maybe you are switching to IM or FM. Are you doing relevant USCE, relevant research? And we can help you in all of that. But the point is, there are these factors that you have to consider when you decide on the specialty. And you're right, Shaila, this would be the month, March, April, when you really have to decide which specialty to focus on so that you can customize your next 5 to 6 months in terms of USCE, in terms of research in the specialty of choice.
All right, great, thanks. And we have done a video where we talk a little bit about that, some of the statistics and the percentages of IMGs in each specialty too. So we'll link that video as well. So then another question to go along with that, a lot of students ask, is it a good idea to apply to multiple specialties, especially if they have a weaker profile? They think maybe doing 2 or 3 specialties will give them a higher chance of matching, or does that usually spread too thin? What are the thoughts on that?
So it depends. If you are a recent graduate, even if you have low scores, because as a recent graduate, you don't have the baggage of the prior experience, you get more flexibility to maybe try out different specialties. So that's one. The other is some specialties go together very well. So for example, neurology and psychiatry generally can go well together in terms of experiences, in terms of the type of patients you see, maybe even in terms of research. Uh, IM, primary care, and family medicine, for example, could go well together. Some, of course, if you're trying to say pathology versus clinical specialty like IM will not go together. So first, you have to see about which 2 specialties you're trying to apply to together. We don't recommend more than 2. It just becomes very complicated. And then, what has been your relevant USC or experience? Because the fact is that now ERAS limits you to 10 experiences. So you don't want a situation, for example, let's say you are applying to internal medicine and neurology. You don't want a situation where the neurology programs think that neurology is a backup because they see only internal medicine experiences on your CV, or vice versa. The IM programs see only neurology experiences. So you have to balance the experiences in the ERAS. You have to get the relevant LORs, so USC and LORs, because you don't want to apply into neurology, for example, with 3 internal medicine LORs and just 1 neurology LOR, or vice versa, right? So there are a lot of things you have to consider, and we have classes on this, and we do have mentors who can help you navigate some of these very difficult decisions as if you're planning to apply to multiple specialties.
Right. A lot of times students will have an all internal medicine profile, but then apply to family medicine as a backup just in case. But the family medicine will see that there's no family medicine experience, so it's hard to cross that over.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about, speaking of experiences and rotations, research, all of that, let's talk a little bit more about that. Now that we're at March, what should students be doing? Like how much time does it take to apply for rotations? What's valuable? Those types of things. So let's start with, how much time should students give themselves before booking rotations?
So if you are planning to do rotations after June, so say July, August, September, those are generally the peak months, and a lot of IMGs do rotations in those months. Obviously, it's demand supply. Book those rotations now. Absolutely do it now, because then you are assured of a spot and the letters. If you're doing, say in April or May, maybe 30 days in advance, you can still book. These are lighter months. March would be a light month, so you probably can still get spots for March if you are interested. But anything after June, I think you should start booking them now.
Okay, great. And what type of rotations would you say are most valuable?
So in terms of rotations, you have to look at a couple of things. You absolutely want to make sure you get hands-on experiences. So let's say you get one rotation as an observership in a top program, say Cleveland Clinic. So that one observership is fine. It's Cleveland Clinic, although it is just an observership, but you get good letters, hopefully. So that will be fine. So you have to then add on hands-on experiences, and hands-on experiences could be in community hospitals, could be in programs where there is residency, could be with program directors. So all those things have to be taken into account. Then the second thing you have to look at is the letterhead that you will get on the recommendations. You don't want typically only clinic letterhead, although again, depends on the profile. But in general, you would want to make sure that 3 of the 4 LORs have strong hospital letterhead, hospitals that have residency. And we have a lot of these hospitals where you can do rotations, at least in terms of the LOR letterhead, you can get some of those. There are other rotations which many of you may end up doing, which is tele-rotations. Now, it's not that all tele-rotations are bad. Tele-rotations can also be very useful, especially if you cannot travel. Some of the tele-rotations do give you EMR access, so you can actually interact with patients, you can manage the patients, use EMR. And in fact, yesterday we were talking with one of our preceptors. She does a very good job in even tele-rotations. Maybe we'll have an interview with her very soon. So it depends on the type of rotations. I would say something is always better than nothing, but there is a hierarchy. So inpatient rotations, outpatient rotations, hospital LORs, residency hospital LORs, EMR access, all that has to be balanced. Program director rotations like we have are also very useful.
So then to go along with that, I'm sure it varies, but about how much USCE should IMGs have?
So if you are a recent graduate, I would say minimum 3 months. And if you have gaps or you have older YOGs, then as much as you can do. I think there's a misconception that 3 is enough. 3 is just the bare minimum. And if you're a recent graduate, 2022, maybe even 2021, I think 3 should be okay. But if you are older YOG or gaps or low scores, I think 3 is just a starting point. Whether it is your work as a medical assistant or so USCE, you have to shoot for 5, 6, 7 months. And remember, the match does not stop on September 28th or when the ERAS is submitted. Match continues. So you should look to do rotations or gain other kind of experiences even after September. So if you are an older graduate, look for 6, 7 months, even till December.
Great. Okay, perfect. I think that's a really great tip. Okay, so let's talk about research a little bit. So what types of research opportunities are there and which ones are most valuable?
Okay, so that's another thing that you should see in March. A lot of students who will match and those who have been working in full-time positions may likely leave the spots. A lot of Sarthi students tend to do that, and we do have classes around that as well. So March would also be the time when those of you interested in research can look for full-time research positions at various universities and programs. So that would be something you can start looking. Full-time research is very useful if you already have had, say, hands-on experiences 3 or 4 months, and you are looking to supplement that with full-time research experience. So these are typically on J1 visa if you need visa, and it takes time to go through. So you interview and then you get the visa. So it takes about a couple of months, but those are good positions. Like I said, we do have classes around it. We do guide our students on how to look for full-time positions. But then not everyone can get full-time positions. These tend to be very competitive. Some of you may not get the visa as well. So in that case, online research also works. We do have courses. In fact, Dr. Weissman, who's the Director of Clinical Research at Hackensack, works with our students. So online research that you can do from anywhere in the world. You can get to publish manuscripts or abstracts or poster presentations can be done. So that is also quite useful. In terms of how much, I think quality always trumps quantity. If you have done one or two good research experiences that lead to some publication, I think that should be good enough. But remember, it also depends on the choice of specialty. Neurology or internal medicine may need some more dedication to research as opposed to, say, family medicine. So I think we have done some videos on this based on NRMP data. So it also depends on the choice of specialty.
Right. So at this point, is there still time to get publications before the September deadline?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we got 6 to 7 months, and if you already have a topic in mind and you are on your own, I think you should go ahead, get started, so that by July, August, you can submit to an indexed journal, whether it's in PubMed or Scopus or something like that. So you could do that. If you need help, our research courses, like I said, with Dr. Weissman and others, will help you get submitted before September and hopefully even get published. But I think submission and acceptance before September is more important, because as soon as it is submitted or accepted, you can still put it in ERAS that this has been done. So there is enough time. I think you can get started.
Great. Okay, so we talked about the rotations, the research, kind of building the profile. The other piece of the application is the actual application. So your ERAS CV, your personal statement, all of that. A lot of students think it's too early. I can worry about that later. So is it too early to start thinking about those application processes?
So there are two aspects to it. One is actual writing down in the ERAS system or the format. So the ERAS opens up only in June, so you cannot actually start that process once. It can be done only once the ERAS opens up and once you buy the token. But when you talk about thinking about these things, it's never too early. For example, as you start doing your rotations, think about an interesting case, think about an angry patient you handled, think about some kind of a teamwork experience, some kind of a leadership experience, start jotting them down, because then these bullet points or these paragraphs that you write can be condensed into the ERAS CV. Likewise, with the personal statement, actual writing down of the personal statement probably you can do in June or July, but start in your head maybe, or even jotting down some points. What will be the story? What will be the anchor of your story? Whether it is why you joined medicine or interested in medicine, what have you been learning from your USCE, or, is EMR experience if you're getting through your rotations. So those kind of things I think is a good idea to start thinking about, because if you start on this in August, then probably there is not enough time to refine these thoughts.
Right. And that leads me to we have mentors that can help with that help you kind of gather your thoughts or give you a direction. Even someone to just bounce ideas off of too. So is it too early to join a match plan, do you think?
No, I think it's a perfect time. Earlier is always better. Our experience has been that if you join early, not only you get a timeline and a complete plan, you can see what you need to do in March, April, whether it is working on your USCE, improving some of the profile related aspects that you may be weak on. If you join Platinum, you will have mentors who can customize a plan for you, tell you when to do what rotations. Maybe you need step 3. If you are in other plans, you can discuss with me as well. So I think a lot of students join us after they are about to take step 1, thinking about CK, and also this would be a good time to join us and see what all you need to do.
Great. I think that would be really helpful guidance. So I just wanted to show you our website really quickly. If you go to usmsrt.com, We have all of our match plans here, all the different, we have platinum, gold, and bronze that are live and students are joining. A lot of our classes have already started, so now's a great time to join. Like Pawan said, get your plan going. We can help you choose your best rotations and research and all of that as well. And then if you go to the contact us page, you can book a free profile review with us so we can talk about your profile specifically.
Yep, I think that is great. Anything else, Sheila, for now?
I think that's everything for me. That's a great start for March. So don't forget to go through all those things, get everything taken care of, and then continue to follow our series as we go through the match season.
Absolutely. And good luck to those of you who are going in match, who would have submitted their ROLs. And, we are going to have some very exciting events after the match. So stay tuned.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope that video provided valuable insights for your journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our website for details on how we can guide you to a successful match.